Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One, and thanks for logging on. Today we are looking at the Zenith El Primero Sport. You can see this 45mm full-sized Zenith El Primero on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. You can also click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of this video at any time to see our full listing for this watch with prices, accessories, and additional photography. You can see on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, that this really is the marriage of traditional Zenith conservative styling with a full-sized modern sports watch proportion. Now, Zenith didn't entirely succeed in the mid-2000s with the Day-Fis and Day-Fi Extremes. Going oversized with the El Primero in space-age cases didn't always result in a happy marriage of form and function. But with the El Primero Sport that you see here, a 2015 Baselworld novelty, Zenith has managed to package its great El Primero movement, really the staple of the manufacturer, with a case that caters to the 21st century preference for a full wrist presence, for a bold style, albeit not overbearing in details. You can see that the watch is only 14mm thick, despite 45mm across the round of the case. With a sloped bezel, this one easily slides under a dress cuff or a long sleeve. The fact that the case back is a little bit cupped or bowl-shaped means that it does nestle into the wrist when it's buckled down, so the profile is even lower than the nominal thickness. It also features a robust but not overbearing 53mm lug-to-lug width. Now you can see on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters. The lugs are rather tightly curved and they thrust down rapidly as they approach the edge of the case, so they add a little bit of camber, as you can see in this profile shot, that allows them to curve around your forearm and meet you halfway if you're slight of wrist like I am. The watch is quite comfortable and it benefits from Zenith's rectangular scale, monotone stitched alligator leather strap, with a wonderfully supple rubberized underside. Now, the rubberized underside is a modern Zenith practice that they've extended across the line. It isolates the leather from sweat, from grit, from moisture. It feels great against the skin, but it also allows the leather itself to last long term. By subbing a layer of rubber for perishable calfskin conventionally used on the underside of a strap, Zenith ensures long-wearing durability for this one. Excellent planning. It also features a beautiful double deployant, trigger-actuated clasp. So it's beautifully polished, beautifully finished. It's also much like a pin buckle in profile when it is buckled, so when this one is closed, it actually has the traditional elegance of a pin buckle, yet with twin trigger security and the ergonomic convenience of a flexible double fold deployant. Now, it also features strap ends that do not conform to the case, which is to say that if you have a smaller wrist, this will pull down straight around the tighter curvature of your wrist. There's no resistance that can come when the end of the strap meets the flank of the case. Zenith engineered this one to be real-world wearable for a large range of wrists. Zenith also artfully integrated the 1969 to present El Primero caliber into this oversized sports reference. Now, at first glance, it reads like Zenith's 42s, and that's because clever use of a articulated multi-level dial makes this watch look visually coherent. You start with a very narrow bezel, so Zenith wants to emphasize the dial, and then there's a Rayhaut tachymeter that slopes down from the bezel to provide a union of bezel and dial. That's the junction point. Then there's a minute and hour track with alternate minute hashes and stepped, rhodium-plated and faceted hour markers. Because this is an El Primero Sport, all of the markers are coated with C1 Luminova, as are the hands at center. This is an easy watch to view in low or no light. The concentric layers and stepped elements continue with a satin-finished silvered sort of inner chapter ring that surrounds a vertically grained slate center. Now, that's Zenith's terminology, not mine, slate. But you can see how all of the individual sub-registers are flush with that vertically grained slate finish, and it effectively creates a coherent look with a smaller movement in a larger case. Nevertheless, it reads as a modern Zenith and completely, shall we say, aesthetically copacetic. Now, when you turn the watch over, you get the Zenith El Primero caliber 400B. 326 parts, 31 jewels. This is horology's all-time greatest hits reel, top 3 perhaps. If you wanted to talk about the great movements of the modern era, the Zenith El Primero slots in as top chronograph. Rugged, accurate, versatile, distinctive. It is all of these things with a 10 beat per second cadence. It has that double step beat rate when you hold it up against your ear, and you can see that preternaturally smooth sweep of that chronograph seconds hand, almost like a Seiko spring drive, almost continuous. That's the difference between a high beat and a conventional 28,800 vibration per hour 4 Hz watch, or even a 3 or 2.5 Hz chronograph. Now, it is very crisp when actuated, but I should mention that these are screw-down pushers because it is the El Primero Sport, not rated to 50 meters nor 100 meters like most of the El Primero Chronomaster watches in the catalog. It is a true 200-meter watch that splits the difference between an all-arounder and a true dive watch. 660 feet for those using the imperial metrics. Now, back to the movement, you can see the numerous finishes that Zenith uses. You can see the linear Côte de Genève across the skeletonized winding rotor. You can see the unusual use of perlage on bridges, as well as 2 distinct types of screw finish. You can see heat blued, that is kiln oxidized screws. They denote those screws that are used for adjusting the performance of the movement. And then there are polished screws. And the polished screws are those that denote assembly items. So those screws that are polished simply hold items in place. They're used for assembly. They're fixtures. The blued screws are the cues to watchmakers that these are the adjustment points in the movement. Now, like all El Primero calibers, it does have a superior 52-hour power reserve, solidly more than the industry standard of 42. You can see this Zenith El Primero Sport 45mm in stainless steel on our website, watchyouwant.com.